and welcome to Ninqueso Live, episode 25. I am El Gran Queso, and I am joined by the bestest bestie who ever did best, the bestie at Bestie Camp, Miss Bree.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? There'd be donuts there.
There could also be donuts there at Bestie Camp. Jeez, what are you on about? Why would you ask such a thing?
Episode 25, and that's how old I am today.
I didn't get any of that. You kept cutting off totally.
Oh dear.
We're having
still in that position, are we?
We are. This is why we started a little bit late. We're having a few sound issues. Hello, CC Sports.
Dear.
How are you? How are you?
Hi, CC.
Yeah. The only other thing I could suggest was going back to that setting, taking it off automatic, and then making it a lot less sensitive, like turning the bar down so it needs less noise for you to trigger.
All right.
Anyway, while you're doing that, we will all sing happy birthday to Miss Bree, because it's her birthday today. That's why she's got a birthday rosette on. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, bestie, Miss Bree. Happy birthday to you.
You bestie. That's very good of you.
I'm just trying to fill time. I wouldn't normally have sung.
No, you wouldn't actually. Although I did hear a rumour you actually got me a card and a present.
I did get you a card and a present. I did. They're sitting here, but it's not your birthday after tomorrow, so that's it. You're not getting them.
That'll be over in half hour.
No, we're doing the podcast. Anyway, so what have you been up to on your fabulous birthday? Have you been Skyrimming?
Yeah, I have to admit that. I found all the Crimson Urn route this week.
Yeah.
And that was absolutely shockingly bad. I don't do a lot of that anyway, but as I said before, it's more like my OCD side that made me collect them all. I found them all, and it's rubbish.
Yeah. Wishing you hadn't done it.
Well, it kind of wasted my time. But there we are. I'm looking at the getting myself a new RPG, and I'm thinking Valhalla. So if anybody's had an experience of that, thank you, CC. Yes. I'm having quite a good day, apart from the fact that my car wouldn't start this morning, and it was very icy and snowy. In the UK, we've had a large fall of snow over the last 48 hours. So yeah, it's cold now. It's cold.
It is. And don't forget how bad your mic sounds. That's another thing that is going wrong for you today.
I know.
It's
I think
really
we're going to
bad.
have to sort of splash out. It's really splashed out and buy me a new mic, bestie.
I don't think it's the mic. I don't know what it is, but it's not the mic. I tell you, it's not the mic.
It's not an internet connection either. I wonder if it's a laptop. I think probably redial.
It's been doing this the past few times we've been on here, and I apologise tremendously to everyone listening how bad the sound is. We promise you it'll be better for episode 26.
This week we're going to fix it.
Yes, we are going to fix
it.
We are going to fix it. It's getting worse and worse every week. Hello, Barlett. Welcome for making sure you woke up in time for the podcast.
Hey, Barlett.
Right, yeah, I've not been up to much. Have I played anything new? I don't think so. Played through Pokemon Snap last week, but apart from that, it's all been pretty standard. What I'm playing at the moment. What?
Has the new season of Fall Guys started? 3.5, is it?
Just calm down. Have you not read the news thing?
I have, but I just wondered if you played it, because I haven't.
It's not started
got onto
yet.
Your Fall Guys stream yet.
It's not started yet. It's all good. It's all good.
So you're still on 3 then? Okay.
Yeah, probably. Whatever you said. It was just all like... You're like you've been taken over by a Cyberman or something.
Okay. I might have to try with my mic, see if that works.
Okay, you do that while I go through the quick news. The kind of news that we don't really want to talk about, but we feel we should mention. I can hear myself loudly now. Did you actually send a bit of quick news to me earlier today?
I did send you some quick news, which was very interesting to me, because it was kind of like a bit of an epic fail.
Do you want to do that bit of quick news? Then we're going to Michael. Oh, okay. You do that at the end of this quick news, and I'll do the quick news. Among Us has sold an estimated 3.2 million copies on Switch in its launch month. That's pretty good for a month.
It's pretty good.
It is only like £3.80. Japanese charts, the Japanese charts, Nintendo Switch games make up the entire top 20 this week. So everything in the top 20 in Japan is a Nintendo Switch game. Nintendo Creatures and Game Freak register a trademark for Pokemon Wonder and Fusion Arts. Of course, registering trademarks probably means absolutely nothing. Epic pledges $20 million for Fortnite esports in 2021. This is why, Bartlett, me and you need to get good at Fortnite so we can like get $20 million.
I'll take a spare million if you win. Thanks very much.
A new Knights of the Old Republic is reportedly in development outside of EA. So they're apparently quite good games. Blizzard merges with Vicarious Visions, the company behind Tony Hawk remake and the Crash Bandicoot remakes. They are now being absorbed into the Blizzard fold.
Ooh.
Also, Twitter. Someone's set up on Twitter where everyone like in the chat uses commands to actually play Pokemon Red. They're playing an emulated Pokemon Red, and Twitter has now defeated the grass-type gym leader Erica in Pokemon Red, with the chat controlling it. Okay. And this is new. This is even on your list. This is how cutting this is. There is a new Animal Crossing update coming this week on the 28th to add a bit of a festival flair to your island. Right, what's
festival flair?
Yes.
What kind of festival? Is this like a Valentine's festival? Because that's coming up, isn't it?
No, it's more like a Rio de Janeiro kind of festival.
Oh, carnival
type thing. Yes.
I'll take that.
Yeah, what's your bit of quick news?
Well, this is just made me laugh, this one particularly, which is why I sent it to you. Cyberpunk 2077, the saga that is, apparently it's sold 12.5 million digital copies, which makes it the best-selling game of all time, as well as the crappiest game of all time. That was just my award there, for the crappiest game of all time.
You sent me that, and I was a bit like... Because it's like the highest digital sales, isn't it, ever?
Yeah.
But it's like Animal Crossing did more like... I bet you Animal Crossing is close to that on digital, if not more. 30-odd million units sold in total. I reckon most of those are like
well, that was on the BBC. So, who knows these days because, they're not
I couldn't
doing
find
well.
fixed numbers, but it was something like about 3 million copies in Japan digitally in the first month. So that kind of lets you to think, do you know what? That just seems like not that high a number to be the highest selling digital game ever. But speaking of digital games that you can get, it's that time in the month again where we have got Games with Gold. Now, this is actually not too bad, Games with Gold, for reasons that we'll go into later on in the podcast. But yes, for this month, you can get from February the 1st, for the whole month of February, you can get the Resident Evil remake. From February 16th to the 15th of March, you can get Dandria. I'm not sure what that is. Trials of Fear. Yeah. The big one, though, is throughout February. You can get Gears 5. You've also got Indiana Jones and The Emperor's Tomb available from the 1st of February to the 15th of February. And,
that's my pick.
And Lost Planet 2 for the second half of February. Bartlett, that badge that Miss Bree is wearing is her birthday badge.
I'm not campaigning for a political party, although it could be the Miss Bree party. This is my birthday girl badge that I was given. So
yeah, it's not too bad a selection of games this month. I think if you've not got Game Pass, then Gears 5 is probably what most people are going to be looking at. And as for PlayStation Plus games, they still haven't announced them yet. I was under the impression they were going to be announced today, so I left a little space on the running order with some question marks.
Not happening, though.
But no, we've still not been told what PlayStation Plus is giving us. But it is going to be a hard push, I think, to beat that one. That's a pretty good selection for reasons that we'll go into later in the podcast. Right, the main news. The main news. Okay.
Main news.
We are not even out of January, and Nintendo is facing another class action lawsuit for Joy-Con drift.
So this has been filed in Quebec, Canada, and it's the same old.
Yeah.
They are saying that this is a known fault and it violates all sorts of local consumer laws over there. So this is it's going to be quite a big one, because what they've actually done with this is they set up a website so people can register their own faults. So every man and his dog in Canada will be going on there and saying, I've got a rubbish Joy-Con drift. And yeah, I should imagine this will be probably bigger than some of the other lawsuits that we've seen, because the lawsuits that we've seen in other places around the world have been taken out by, we'll just scoot them all up together and say it's the local government. To do with consumer trading, whereas obviously this one, the more numbers of people that you've got in a class action, generally speaking, the better chance it has of succeeding. And this is a great way to scoop up everybody, is by setting up a website.
Yeah, one of the first ones when the class action lawsuits first started to get sort of come into being last year. That's pretty much what the law firm did. They just like, look, can you email us your stories of how this has impacted you, so that we can put together a case. So it's not the first time that a law firm has sort of gone, look, we want all of your stories with Joy-Con drifts. Is it weird that I've had my Switch since day one and I've never had a problem with my Joy-Cons?
Well, I guess not everybody does. But,
it's true. I mean, I know Xbox are also going through a class action lawsuit for their controllers and drift as well. And PlayStation isn't, but the only control pad I've had issues with is my PlayStation one.
Oh, the irony.
I know, like my white PlayStation PS4 controller just doesn't work properly. It's rubbish. I know, right? Yeah, so this is more Nintendo being told, you're naughty, why did you release the Joy-Cons in such a state? Yeah, I think the hard part would be prove, because don't they have to actually prove that Nintendo knowingly released it in this condition?
Yes, so this is what is going to have to happen in all of these cases around the world. What they're going to have to prove is that the fact that they knew about this, they knew it was a problem, and what they've chosen to do rather than a major recall is to replace them as of when it comes up. That's going to be a difficult ask, but I guess it's always worth having a pop. Let's just remember that filing a suit of this type, a class action suit, is relatively easy, but once it gets to court, who knows what will happen.
Yeah, so that's a thing to wait and see. I mean, they'll all sort of come together at some point, and I think I guess even though because they're in different countries, that you might get different results. But I have a feeling that
possibly the thing that I've got to come back to with this is Nintendo will have numbers. They will know how many they've sold against how many they've replaced. And once you bring that up in court, then it's very difficult to argue that it was with a fault. So for me, I'm just like, I want to see how this develops. Really.
Yeah, I mean,
I do understand there's a large number of people having this problem. That's fair enough. But given the large number of units that have been sold, there will be faults. So
yeah, I mean that's it. What's the Switch on now? Around 70 million sold.
Yeah.
Each Switch, apart from the Switch Lite, so let's just say 65 million Switches have been sold that actually have So each one of those has Joy-Cons attached. That's 2 Joy-Cons on each. So that's 130 million Joy-Cons out in the wild, and that doesn't include people buying extra colors, extra sets of Joy-Cons. So there must be like 150 million Joy-Cons out in the wild.
Quite possibly.
So, like you say, even like 100,000 malfunction, it's still a very small percentage. So yeah, anyway, I'm not defending them.
Number of faults that are going to come up without, they still make them functional. So, if it's going to be a 0.1% fault rate, you can't argue that that's sort of a known built-in fault that they've chosen to ignore.
Yeah.
Percentage. Anyway, we'll see, because that will just run and run. I would have thought
we'll be well into the hundreds by then in episode numbers by the time this all gets concluded.
Probably.
We'll be sitting there like Bernie with our mittens on going, do you remember those lawsuits? Well, they finally decided on the judgment.
I'm here
Let me
today
just get my
once
Switch
more.
72. Right.
Anyway, moving on.
More legal stuff. Several huge game publishers have been fined £7 million for geo-blocking sales. Now, what is a geo-blocking sale, you might ask yourself? That's a good question.
Well, this is to do with the EU, and I'll come back to that point in a moment, because I think there's a little bit of an underlying comment here that we can make about where this news story has particularly come from. But yeah, so in some areas, games are cheap. You'll probably explain this better than me, but there's some countries in which games are cheaper. So way back in the day, they used to have different regions for DVDs.
Yes.
So region 1, region 2. So this is kind of a similar thing.
Yeah. The games used to be like PAL and NSTC. I think it is. It's like the PAL regions were Europe, Australia, and then Japan and America had a different version. So back in the day, majority of games consoles were actually limited to only playing the games from that region that they were sold in, whereas that's not a really thing that happens anymore. Like the Switch is totally region free. If you want to, you can create a Japanese eShop, a Japanese account, and buy things from the Japanese eShop, providing you can get money onto there, which is a bit of a hassle, but it can be done. You know, you're not sort of stuck to having to buy like only PAL games in the UK. Which would have been nice, because like way back when, the PAL versions were tended to be like inferior. They tended to run a bit slower, which is really rubbish. So yeah, so that's kind of the way it goes. But this has got something to do, hasn't it, with the prices being different in different regions of, like, obviously like in Europe we've got like Romania, Slovakia, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania I can see mentioned.
Yeah, so there's some areas which are economically disadvantaged areas where these things are sold more cheaply, really because their economy is at a different level than other economies. And so this is to do with the fact that obviously the EU is all one economic area. So it's a free trade area, it's a free market. So really everything should be traded at the same level in there. And what the argument is here is that by geo-blocking, you're stopping certain people getting the game as cheaply as they could get it. Whereas by enforcing this ruling, what's going to happen is that in these countries where, you know, the economic situation is not as good, and obviously they're getting the games cheaper as a result, is prices will go up there. What's interesting to me about this story is it was reported by the BBC, who are obviously well known to be at the moment very much pushing the anti-EU agenda, because they don't have access to free market anymore. I'd just like to say that Brexit carnage is still trending on Twitter in the UK. So I think that's sort of got a lot to. I mean, you can look at this at two different ways. That the free market is a great thing for trade, as a lot of UK traders are now finding out. But obviously, not everybody is equal within that market. You know, there are some economies which are definitely lagging behind for various different reasons, and some which are performing more strongly. And in that free trade market, you know, the equal access to that price point, you know, is perhaps a sticky part. But yeah, it just interested me that the way this was retold on the BBC website, in which they emphasised that this was going to raise prices, and that's not necessarily the case by any means.
Yeah.
But definitely, so they've been fined 7 million for geo-blocking, which basically just means they're trying to give these Eastern European countries access to these games at a slightly cheaper price.
Yeah. I mean, apparently, like 5 of the 6 companies had their fines reduced because apparently they cooperated with what the decision was said. Apart from, the only one that hasn't was Valve. So they had a full 1.6 million euro, so 1.4 million pound.
It's not that big, to be honest, on the scale of things.
No, it
No.
really isn't. They make a lot of money.
I was interested to see that, you know, really, this is not a huge deal, but the BBC were making it out to be a huge drama. But there we are. There's too much drama out of life, to be fair.
Well, that's the thing. I'm saying, oh, this will raise game prices. Game prices are going up this generation anyway. You know?
Exactly.
So I think it's, if they are trying to say, oh, this is going to raise game prices, and then later on they're going to go, look, it did raise game prices, because obviously they were pushing their own agenda. But anyway, speaking of raising prices, we had a bit of a thing on Friday. Like,
somebody had to backtrack.
Yeah, apparently Xbox suddenly decided, do you know what? We're going to double the price of Xbox Live Gold from £60 a year to £120 a year.
But 15 hours later, we're not. Really, we're not. Actually, we're not.
It wasn't even... Yeah, it was like... Oh, we had a bad... They put a tweet out. It's a tweet in here. Yes, they put a tweet out.
I saw it.
We messed up today, and you were right to let us know, said Microsoft. Connecting and playing with friends is a vital part of gaming, and we failed to meet the expectations of players who count on it every day. As a result, we've decided not to change Xbox Live Gold pricing. Now, it didn't just stop there. Not only have they not changed the price of Xbox Live Gold pricing, but they've also now allowed games like Fortnite. If it's a free-to-play game, you used to have an Xbox Live Gold to be able to play that online. You don't on Nintendo, and you don't on the PlayStation. And now, after this, you don't on Xbox. They're always like, yeah, you can play your free games free online now. You don't even need one of these. And
I thought that tweet was so cynical, because it's like, yes, we know you want to be with your friends, and we want to facilitate that. Whereas, no, it's not that we were looking for make as much money as humanly possible while the pandemic is on, and got a huge backlash for it and had to back down. It's just nice to you.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's like they posted that, on the Friday, like just near the end of the day. It's kind of like, we'll post this. There'll be a little bit of like people moaning online over the weekend, but by Monday everyone would have forgotten it. No.
No, 15 hours later.
15 hours later, someone like 11:52 p.m. Eastern, they posted that. So there was phone calls going around then. Like, what the hell are you guys doing? Whoever decision this was, someone got in trouble. And then it's like, as we said, this is quite a good selection of games for Xbox Gold this month. If you've looked at what the ones they've been giving away for the past few months, I think someone is sort of saying, how the hell can we make this up? Okay, we'll do this. Okay, we'll give them some good games. Give them Gears 5. You know?
Yeah, I have to say.
Yeah, that's
spectacular bad.
It was a little bit of a mess, wasn't it? Really, but at least they came back and sort of changed things. So that proves moaning online is a good thing to do.
I do a lot of that.
Do you really though? Right. I've literally only put this one in because it's kind of like we need to change the name of this podcast. It's now going to be called Ninqueso Live, featuring Cyberpunk scandals.
Yeah, the ongoing saga of Cyberpunk.
Yes, Cyberpunk. They released a big patch which has a game-breaking bug in it. And
so
we're not just
this is for one of the in-game quests, and it literally installs the game.
Yes.
It's just nothing happens. And the most awful thing about this really is the actual workaround that they give you involves using an earlier save. And I'm just like, what? Can you not do better than that? Seriously, boys. Seriously.
It's like the game-breaking bug relates to the quest on Down on the Street. This main story mission sees V meet up with an NPC, Takamura, at the Channeled Street docks in Japantown. As part of the quest, you must wait to receive a holo call from Takamura. And if this holo call that appears to now be bugged for some players, Takamura will call, but will remain silent, simply starting at V. And then that's it. That's your main quest done. Then you can't carry on. at all.
Yep, that's the end of that.
Yep, the bug prevents the progression of the quest and progression through the main Cyberpunk 27 story, which is a bit of an issue.
It's just all cooked.
This is great. Okay. CG Project Red has issued a potential workaround, not a guaranteed one, just a potential one, for this bug. And this is what you need to do. 1. Load a game save before Takanori and V leave Wacko's office. Finish conversation with Takamura outside the office right away. Right after finishing the conversation, and when the quest was updated, skip 23 hours. See if the holocall triggers and dialogue with Takanori starts. So you got to do all that, and then it's just kind of like, just wait 23 hours in game, and then just see if it works.
Super skeptical face.
Yeah, I think they messed up with that one. So that was patch 1.1. I'm sure they fixed some stuff, though.
Absolute rubbish, you know? I always say this to you when I'm on stream. Bestie, you're rubbish. But honestly, Cyberpunk 27 is a big bowl of rubbish.
What have I done? Just closed down my... I've closed down my...
So as workarounds go, it's a pretty rubbish workaround. I have heard that they're actually going to issue an urgent update.
Yeah, they'll be working on that quick, but...
Crunching through the night.
You can guarantee there will be at least one person out there who doesn't have an earlier save and who's encountered that problem. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
It has to be.
Anyway,
yes. This next story, I couldn't seem the web. When you read the stories, did the link work for you? No, it didn't work for me either. And I've gone all the way through their website and can't find it anywhere.
So the title of this story was "The Pokemon Company is to crack down on Sword, Shield, and Home users who modify save data in a new ban wave." Yeah,
they're just going to ban you if you have cheated and edited your game data in a way that you should not have edited it. But the story seems to have vanished.
Before, though, with Pokemon,
they've been doing this.
You cheating?
They've been doing this since since Pokemon went online. If you have a Pokemon that you've acquired through suspicious means, that can get that Pokemon deleted and get your account banned. So,
That's how it should.
It's true, but then you've got the other flip side of it. What if you've done a trade online with someone and you've got a Pokemon that you don't know is hacked in your party?
Well, yeah, fair point.
I guess they would know it's come from somewhere else. Because in Pokemon Sword and Shield, you can do mystery trades where you just choose one of your Pokemon and go, I'm trading this one. And then it will just randomly it will connect to the internet, and a couple of moments, probably about 2 or 3 minutes later, it will say, oh, you've traded. And you'll just literally have traded with a random person who was doing the same thing. So there is a chance you might have got Pokemon that you don't know are dodgy. Especially when you get there, it's like, oh my god, someone's just traded me a shiny Mareep. I don't know. Couldn't think of any other Pokemon then.
Who knows?
Yeah. But anyway, so we can't really talk much about that story. But Nintendo has explained how photo evolution works in Pokemon Snap. And I was like, that sounds interesting. I'm going to read this article before the thing so I can be informed and talk about it. But then my laptop had to update for nearly an hour and I was still putting the stories in while we were so I've not actually read this at all.
Okay, so this is competitive photo taking. What happens is you take your photo and then you submit it, and it's judged against certain criteria, and it gives you points. Now, this is a really, really terrible example because this is an awful photo, technically speaking.
Not a good photo, is it?
It's just dreadful. It's just dump this in the middle, and it's kind of so. There's obviously the golden ratio and the rule of thirds and all of those things to which we apply. Because I've done photography in my time. So there's all sorts of different rules, and this is possibly one of the worst photographs of all time because it really doesn't.
I think to be fair to the to Nintendo Life, which is where we got this story from, this game isn't out yet, so they have no footage themselves. They've had to use something from the trailer. and obviously this is probably one of the few images on the trailer where there's an actual photograph being taken. So I think that's, why it's just kind of like, meh. So yeah, give them a little bit for that.
Sort of like there are a couple of rules which people, sort of like do say, get your subject in the middle of the frame and stuff like that. But when you're looking at good quality photos, they don't tend to do that. They tend to have sort of, like I say, like the rule of thirds and the golden ratio and stuff like that. So it's the difference between what's a technically good photo and what is an aesthetically beautiful photo.
You're reading too much into this. This is a Pokemon game for kids.
Well, I'm just pointing out that photo is terrible.
Okay, the way it works on Pokemon Snap on the N64, you take a picture and it will grade you on the Pokemon size first of all. So how big is the Pokemon in the picture? Then if it's big enough, it will go on to the next criteria, which is its pose. Is it doing anything interesting? Then again, if you hit the criteria, it will go on to a next thing, which is it in the center of the picture? That's all it cares about. If it's in the center, it just doubles your score. If it's not in the center, you don't. So that's kind of how the N64 was grading everything. It wanted to have a big picture of a Pokemon. You needed to make it do something special, like get a picture of Pikachu while he's eating an apple, and it'd be like, oh look, he's eating an apple. That's great.
Oh, it's a surfing Pikachu that's got the big points.
Yeah, the surfing Pikachu does, if you can get the surfing one. But it's like you can get higher points for pictures that you look at and go, do you know what, that is awful compared to the other picture. But by the criteria that it grades you by, it actually boosts you up. And then you just keep the one with more. So I imagine it's going to be something very similar in Pokemon Snap. Professor Mirror? Why? Okay, here is a big thing I've got about Pokemon Snap here. Why is the professor not named after a tree?
Oh, good point.
Professor Oak, Professor Elm, Professor Mirror. What? Will evaluate your photos based on the subject's pose, how large they appear, how directly they are facing you, and where they fall in frame. So I think it's like the same criteria as the original Pokemon. Maybe it'll have a little bit better. Maybe it'll have a better algorithm though, because obviously it's a much superior system and they can do stuff like that. The N64 was, struggled to do most things really.
Yeah.
Bless its little heart.
Anyway, so moving on. Tell me about dead penguins.
Dead penguins, yes. Okay, let me just bring this up because I closed the picture down, so I just need to copy and paste this over into my thing. So
this is to do with Fall Guys mid-season patch.
Yes.
So this is what I was alluding to at the beginning.
Season 3.5 will be with us shortly, and they've added a mid-season patch which adds a new stage and the ability to murder penguins.
That's really harsh.
It is. I have seen the video of it, and they were doing this on. They showed the video. It's not like a penguin. It's a pegwin, one of those wind-up toy penguins. Now, this is a callback to Mario 64. So we blame Nintendo for this totally. In Mario 64, on the second level, you could there's a mummy penguin that you have to find her baby for. So you take the baby down and it gives you a star. But then you walk back up to the mummy penguin, pick up her baby, walk to the edge of the level and just throw it off into the abyss. And apparently on Tundra Run, they've added penguins walking around so you can pick them up. And literally they showed someone walking up to the end of Tundra Run and just throwing it off into the abyss.
That is disturbing, Bestie.
It's not good, is it? It's not good. The only slight consolation is the mean people that will be doing that, because let's face it, they're going to be the toxic ones. They're not going to be hassling me. They're going to be too busy trying to throw penguins off into the abyss.
Well, yes, it kind of gets those psychopaths out of the way for you so you can see you through.
It's okay, Barley. It's okay.
Really, I'm interested in about this mid-season patch is the fact that some of the costumes are coming back.
Yes. Does it say what costumes, what we got? So season 3.5 will have a brand new level. Woo! 40 plus new variations for existing levels. full feed. I don't know what that is. A new DLC pack. Awesome. Godzilla, Sonic, and Goose Game costumes available in regular store.
Entitled Goose Game costume.
Yeah, I wasn't that big fan of it. It was too angular. It just didn't look good. I didn't buy it. And new shows and costumes to go live over coming weeks. Does it say what it is? And do you know what they've called the game? This was again, they let the fans name the seasons.
I did see that. But
so season 3.5 is called Stop with the Yeets. Name it anything else. Just don't include the word yeet, please. I'm begging you.
Because people don't like the eaters.
No, that is what it's called. Stop with the yeets. Name it anything else. Just don't include the word yeet, please. I'm begging you. Now, that's a weird name. That's a weird name.
Fans are clearly not happy with the eaters.
I think it was just because both updates have had like Yeetus or Thick Bonkus in there. And like they just like ending things in weird words. Like, what? We like yeet. Yeah, yeet petite, the finest yeet you ever want to meet. That's what I say when I get a good yeet. It's like, yeet petite, the finest yeet I ever want to meet. I love Yeetus. Yeetus is great.
Yeah, but Thick Bonkus, I mean, really?
Yes, and this is the scary bit. One of the new features in this patch is a little more ominous. Season 3 introduced Penguins, cute little penguin boys who march on automated flippers. These penguins serve as a match objective on certain maps, but they will be available in extra levels where they are not necessary to win the game. This means that if the player is an absolute monster, they can drop the penguins, named Bert, Bort, or Bart, off the side of the level in an act of cruelty not seen since Super Mario 64. That's from Polygon.
Bort and Bart.
Yes, Bert, Bort, and Bart.
Of course.
Do you not remember that Simpson episode where he's looking for like his name on a license plate and they got Borts? Barlet, don't worry, I will not drop a penguin off while you're watching. That's just an off-stream thing. I'll never do it on stream. When is the new season out? I don't know. It's not the new season. It's 3.5. It doesn't actually say, but it should be soon. It should be soon.
Usually they trail it for a couple of weeks,
we're doing
not long.
this. Barlet, look away for the next 20 seconds.
Avert your eyes.
Avert your eyes, Barlet. Look. Just gone. Okay, it's safe to watch now, Barlet. It's safe to watch.
That is disturbing.
It is, isn't it? The thing is, there is absolutely no point to doing that. And none at all.
Well, just to indulge your psychopathic side, really. That's it.
I think if I was to grab one, I would take it to the finish line with me and it would be my friend.
Yeah, probably.
Come with me, Bort.
Take
Come
it
with
home
me.
and keep it.
Come with me.
It would sleep with you and then bath in the sink, something like that, knowing you.
And then what, in the sink?
Bath in the sink.
Bath in the sink. I was on what you said then.
Mm.
Yeah, so yeah, don't worry. I won't be doing penguin murder on my streams.
Of course not. You're nice.
And that's kind of the news that I found for this week. I'm sure there was other things that happened, but you know, I only find what I find.
So where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitch literally every single day. Do you know I actually added up how much I'm streaming this week and I'm doing 35 hours.
Holy crap, it's almost like a job.
It's like a full-time job. I know, right?
Where
Yes,
else can
I am
they
on
find
Twitch
you?
like Monday through to Sunday, which is this channel, Ninqueso. You can also find me on Facebook, where I do play a lot of Fall Guys, which is ElGranQueso74. You can also find me on Twitter at Ninqueso. Yeah, that's it. What about you?
You can find me on Twitter as gamergirl_Miss GMRGRL_MISSBRIE.
Yes. Right. Are there any questions at all in the chat this week? We've still not had any comments on any of the videos that we've put up. So we're going straight to you guys in the chat. Ask us anything.
Last week we spent about 10 minutes answering various different questions.
We did.
Which was extensive. So you can ask us anything. It really doesn't matter what type of question you want to ask. We'll answer it. We'll give our opinions on all sorts of things because we're very opinionated like that.
I'm not that opinionated.
Yes, you are. That's my opinion.
What's for dinner? What's for dinner? That is a great question. What is for dinner? I did actually buy
Donuts,
dinner.
obviously.
I brought donuts. I brought some chicken breast, which I'm going to cook, and then I've got some like Chinese style curry that I'm going to put over it. Then I'm going to make some rice, and that's what my dinner is.
You told me something disturbing last Donut Friday.
Did I?
When we were talking about Chinese takeaway, and you told me that you do something really quite wrong with sweet and sour chicken
That's
sauce.
not wrong.
Tell everybody what you did.
That's not wrong. Like, I recommend this wholeheartedly. If you like your sweet and sour chicken balls from the Chinese, what you need to do is buy your sweet and sour chicken balls as normal, but then buy an extra tub of satay sauce, and then just ignore the sweet and sour sauce. Dip those chicken balls into the satay sauce, and you're in chicken ball heaven.
It's wrong.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong.
It's wrong.
What is wrong is I actually got a Chinese over the weekend on Sunday. And when it was all snowing, I thought I'll go for a quick walk around the block and then pick up my Chinese. So I'd gone for a big walk around the block, went to the Chinese, it was closed, and I'd ordered from a different one.
I had Chinese on Saturday night, actually, and I had sweet and sour chicken balls with sweet and sour sauce.
Why did you not get like satay sauce, like I said?
Actually, there wasn't any on the list. I did look, but I wouldn't put any if it was, to be honest, because I think it's just, it's weird. It's weird.
It's not weird. Do you like satay sauce?
Yeah, I do like satay.
Do you like chicken in satay sauce?
How would I not like satay sauce? Because it's based on peanut butter,
Exactly.
which is one of my
So
all-time.
imagine that. Just try it. Just try it once, and you will thank me.
Here's the thing: as a nutritionist, I feel it's one of my basic macros.
Yeah, well, then
peanut butter sauce.
Then do it. Yeah, but anyway, going back to the Chinese, I actually walked past the Chinese that my Chinese was at, doing the walk round.
How did you forget which Chinese you ordered from?
But the Chinese that I accidentally ordered from, it's probably about a 2-minute walk from my house as opposed to a 30-second walk. But it is so much nicer. Like, unbelievably nicer. So it's like, that's the one, that's the go-to one now. I might have to walk down to the next road and turn left instead of just going out the door, taking about 10 steps to that Chinese.
Eva, it is my birthday today. That's why I got my birthday girl badge on.
It's her birthday. We did sing her happy birthday earlier. If everyone wants to sing at home, we're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. They're all singing your happy birthday at home now.
Oh, that's nice. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it greatly. Although, to be honest, I had high hopes for sort of going out for dinner and stuff, but clearly with lockdown and all that.
Can't go out to dinner in lockdown. I wasn't allowed out on my birthday, so you're not allowed out. You what?
Yes, Barla, I was baked a birthday cake. My daughter baked me a pistachio with cream cheese frosting, and I know that sounds weird. I know that, but it was actually great, and I really enjoyed it. And I've got a couple of slices left downstairs. So once I finish the podcast, I'm going, because it's a lockdown birthday, and you have to take your pleasures where you can. I'm going in the bath with prosecco and cake.
Ew, that's disgusting.
That's how it's going.
There's not one part of that I would enjoy.
The cake.
I don't know. It sounds a bit weird, and you're moaning at me for dipping chicken balls in sort of satay sauce.
Listen, you're like Mogwai. Don't feed them after midnight, and don't.
What? I always get fed after midnight. Jeez. Anyway, I think that's it.
Barlett likes the sound of it.
Yeah, but Barlett had purple carrots the other day.
Did she? I love Barlett. Yeah, pistachio. Honestly, this pistachio cake was just the business.
Pistachio
nice.
ice cream is nice. Frosting. Pistachio ice cream is nice.
Yeah, pistachio ice cream is nice. I like pistachio coffee as well. Anyway, so that's my plan for this evening. Bath bomb, glass of prosecco, in the bath with cake.
Can I just point out? I need to point something out here. Do you realise you're doing girl stuff?
Well, no, because that's what's just going to come on to is I've got a soundtrack for it, and it's heavy metal. Heavy metal in the bath with cake.
You need to play Skyrim while you're in the bath. Right, I think that's it.
Anyway, It
think
is. If
that's
you haven't
it.
got any more questions, you better do the Batman thing.
I will do the Batman thing.
All right. Take a breath. Wind yourself up for it. In 3, 2, 1. You're up.
How many penguins will I end up with after saving the poor little critters from being thrown over the edge? Find out the answer to these questions. Same cheesy chime, same cheesy channel.
Actual stories may vary. Say good night, bestie.
Good night, bestie.